everyone in Thailand. I am here with some of my very favorite people. David is off today. He will be on with us tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific. We're doing a special Claim Your Power Hour with Debbie G, and it will be live via Zoom. The link in the Facebook group, and anyone can join us. So we're very excited. We're hoping that many of our followers in the Tya practice group will join us so we can put a face with a name and get to know you, because we sure do love each and every one of you. And then, as you know, Anne-Marie helps us host often. She's a Tya Boot Camp graduate. You know, Deborah Wilson, my apologies. Debbie G, Deborah Wilson, we got two. But Deborah Wilson is a Tya coach. And then Sandra Kudajar, she's also a Tya coach. And we're all Tya Boot Camp graduates. That's how we met. And so we're going to share a little bit about that with everyone out there. Hi, we see you popping on. So be sure to pop your questions in the comments. And welcome. Happy holidays.
Oh, how exciting is it to be here? Happy Christmas. You got four of us.
Don't stop us talking. Hi, everyone. Lovely to see you all. We've got, I can see comments today. That's cool. Sam and Diana. Lovely to see you.
Yes. Hello, Sam and Diana. The people are trickling in now. Hello, everybody. It's so nice to be here with you. A little bit of a mini Christmas celebration before a big one tonight.
But it's nice, isn't it, to have people come in and just get together, because we wanted to cover the Tya community and the friendships that we've made and the impact it's had of our life. And Deborah and I joined pretty much a year ago, give or take a few weeks. And what a year. What a year.
Oh, it was a year ago, was it? I love that.
Yeah, I think it was the end of December.
Wow.
Right.
That doesn't seem possible.
Doesn't, does it?
Yeah, it seems like a lifetime ago, right? Looking back. You know why? Yeah. It's because it's our new 2.0 version of ourselves that we got with Tya. It does. It feels like it was forever ago, but it really hasn't been that long.
Yeah, that's mad. Absolutely mad, isn't it? Like, I love that observation, Sandra, because I was trying to work out, and I thought, well, that can't be. You know, time's a bit warped at the moment anyway. And I thought it couldn't possibly be right. And I love that observation, because I remember, Anne-Marie, we said, when we started, we said, oh, it's going to be so exciting because we'll be graduating in the spring. And I can like take myself right back to moments. And when I take myself right back there, and I remember that, oh gosh, the anticipation, the nerves, can it really be that transformational? Will we really be different people in the spring? And just
wow,
it is possible, and now we know. Yeah.
Well, it took me to the summer. It didn't take me to the spring.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you guys graduate in the spring? Yeah.
Well, that's the best part, I think, about the Tya practice is actually, we were just discussing this last night in one of our boot camp meetings, that it never ends. You know, you learn the tools, you go through the boot camp, and then you graduate, and now what, right? But the more we practice, the more I practice and use those tools, the more I see the changes, not only in myself, but as you said, in our community, in our relationships. I had just commented to Deborah before we got on that I have never met any of you in person, but I love you. You're like my sisters. We bonded so much through the community of Tya and through boot camp. And then I think of you as just dear, dear friends that I've known my whole life. And I love that no matter what's going on in the world, I can jump on a Zoom or I can come into the Facebook group and find somebody to talk to, especially if I am having kind of a down day or struggling with something that I just can't sometimes zoom out or view from a different perspective, I can always jump on, and because it's global, there is always somebody online, somebody I can reach out to or talk to. And that's one thing that I just cherish about not only our community and boot camp, but the Tya practice group. It's just such a lovely vibe to see and know that I see all these familiar names, and I may not know you, but I know your name, and I feel when you communicate through the Facebook group, we still feel your vibe. It's so magical and beautiful, which leads me to something that Deborah shared yesterday or day before, and I'm dying to hear the story. So, a Christmas miracle.
Christmas miracle.
Oh,
Yes,
do tell, do
I
tell.
will. I'm actually going to look at the time because you know what I'm like. I'll try and keep it down to a couple of minutes tops.
It's okay. We'll help you.
Yes, please help me. Yeah, because it does speak directly to the discussion we were having earlier that Anne-Marie mentioned about the ripple effect of of this community and of this practice, and something which I think is so incredibly valuable and really speaks to the fact that we are vibrational creatures. And so what you were saying, Kerry, about how though we might not know you, you might not even have made a comment, you might have never interacted in our 3D reality at all, but you are interacting. Just the fact that you're here in this community and on the Facebook page, in the Tya practice, 4,000 souls who are interacting with us vibrationally, and I think that's really rather beautiful. And as Kerry said, to remember that if you just wanted to reach out to any of us and just to feel it can sound just like empty words, but it's really not. We really do value each of you, and you're here very much because you vibrationally lined up with this practice, and that is massively important, valuable. So, I'll be quick. Let's move it on now to talk to the Christmas miracle through this ripple effect of the Tya practice. And one of the things which I found really, really difficult was the concept of letting go of the judgment of the experience of others. At first, it sounded a bit callous and cold-hearted to me, and it took me a while to really understand how, if I'm trying to fix anyone, I ain't doing no good. I'm still in ego. In fact, if I'm trying to fix someone, I can only ever have an effect on someone if, like this lighthouse, which was given to me by a much-loved member of the Tya community, we're shining that light out, the communal light within us all. It's not personal. So, gosh, I'll move it along. There's a very close family member of mine who was very, very mired in her victim role and very, very mired in it. And I found it so hard to just let go and not judge her experience and not try and fix her. But I put my implicit trust in that all I had to do was see her as the beautiful shining light that she is, let go of that judgment, and when I'm with her, just to shine that light as strongly as I can. And if I get emotional, Kerry's going to start crying too. Hold it together. She was having some very, very difficult, around this very occasion of Christmas, she was having a lot of difficulty, as was her direct family, obviously protecting her privacy, but direct relation to her ex-husband, lots and lots of drama, but a couple of weeks ago, she opened up to me, but she was the one that came to me and said, I've seen how different you are. I've seen how I would really like you to share with me. And I was absolutely gobsmacked because she was not open to this at all. Anyway, she wasn't quite there yet to go to the radical appreciation, but I shared a lot with her around forgiveness, and sort of couched it in terms of sort of the more practical, analytical side of how like she's very sort of scientific, so like the negativity bias that we all have, and how we are literally wired to make up that really negative story around anything that happens, and how that is just the way we are wired, and that negative story, that bias that we have, is just why we keep ourselves so mad. And that really resonated, and how we do absolutely have the power in reframing that story and rewriting the story. Anyway, let's cut that bit short. And she really ran with it. She went with it. I didn't rescue her. I didn't feed her the answers. I made suggestions, gave her links, etc. She's now in a place where, and just a couple of weeks, she's now, the whole family drama is all resolved. It was a really, really unhappy situation for many people, and she's not actually completely, there yet in like a radical appreciation, but she's so on her way. So I never ever would have believed, not in a million years, would have believed that was possible. Absolutely no, impossible. And just by trusting that that's all I had to do to shine that light, be there, it's a really massive. It's a miracle, and miracles are real. So
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Wow, that was beautiful.
okay.
We're getting lots of comments from about that. A Facebook user said that's what this wonderful community offers, and it does. I agree. And then, of course, Sam, we all know and love Sam, not judging their experience, but treating them as the shining light that they are, and being that for them when we are with them. And isn't that just sums it up, Sam? It's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Deborah. It's so true. Our light, we have it always, and it's easy to just be there with somebody and just shine that light. When you learn to realize we can't fix it for them, we can't change it for them. We can hear them. We can.
And it's the kindest thing we can do, which to me it didn't feel kind. I had it all the way around in that old 3D wiring system, an old operating system, and to actually see the power of it is quite astonishing. And as you say, that sort of just going up and up and up and up, leveling, and knowing that we're all in this together. We are obviously all one, and it's that light that we're all reflecting back, bouncing back to each other, and to really encourage the people that are new in our community to feel that and to know that. And I'm getting that fuzzy feeling all over. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Well, there's a beauty, isn't there, in being a guide and not fixing? Because when you're fixing the person that you're trying to fix, it's a judgment, you're deeming them damaged in some way. I know it comes from the heart sometimes, because we empathize with what they're going through, but that's then where the judgment comes in, right? We're empathizing, thinking this is bad, and we know better now. There's no real good or bad. It's an experience.
Yeah.
But when you try to fix, you're not allowing the person to just be themselves and go through the way they need to. Maybe they're not ready for your solutions. Maybe they'll find them on their own at some point. So it's beautiful when you just sit back, you just be a friend, be there for them, listen to what they have to say. You can offer, guidance to them. They have to be ready at that point to make the change. And sometimes they're not, and sometimes they are. And if you shine that beautiful light and lead by example, like what you did, it's amazing the difference between saving and guiding. And it's beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
Sandra,
story.
Yeah. You're exactly right. It's so beautiful. And I think most of us all want, just like when you find a great shampoo or a great makeup or something, you want to share it and you want everyone to have it, right? And so I think when we start to learn Tya and these mindset practices, we want to share it. We want everyone to feel that excitement and joy and appreciation that we feel. So we feel the need to share it, but we have to remember how to share it, which is a big one for me. I want to share my stories and I want to share my light, but not in a way that this is the way you should do it, which is judgment, right? Um, Now, if someone asks me specifically, I certainly am open and share. But most of the time, they'll ask me. I laugh. Oftentimes, my kids who saw me pre-Taya will be like, "Mom, are you drinking?" They'll ask me if I've taken something, and I'm like, "Nope, I'm practicing Taya," because they know, of course, they know all about it. But that was, as through boot camp, they started to see a happier me, and a mom who I always thought that I was this great mom that listened, and I did, but I also, there was judgment, and there was this need to say, well, this is right, this is wrong, instead of realizing, yes, we have to guide them when they're little, of course, but realizing as they got older to allow them their path and just appreciate that they're on their own path and their path is different than my path. It isn't right or it isn't wrong. And I think that's one of the biggest things we bring to this Facebook group is each of you have your own journey, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And as you said, Anne Marie, taking time, you took a little longer in boot camp. That's okay. It was your journey, and our, like I said earlier, the best part of it is the journey never ends. That's the greatest part, is I learn something new every day. I experience something new every day, and I can appreciate it because I've learned to remove the judgment. And if I see myself dipping into that judgment, I have tools to, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And allowing the space. And I know, Anne Marie, you have young children, right?
Yeah, I do, but my house is so much calmer. I was talking with Walt on LOA today on Monday. My house is so much calmer since I've since I graduated, because it does ripple. And when my kids come to me, like you, I realise it's now their journey, and obviously I'm there. They're 6 and 9. I'm there to guide them, but quite often I'll just go, "What do you need? Do you just want mummy to listen? Do you want me to go and beat up somebody's parents? What do you need me to do?" I don't really say that. No, what do you need mummy to do? And usually it's just listening and just they getting it out there. But at 6 and 9, empowering them with those tools to think for themselves. And when my oldest was having problems at school, we're like, well, why don't we appreciate that person? Just think of something, find something about their shoes you like, or just find something, and just giving those little tips so that they can navigate through their worlds, but not fixing it for them, because I don't have a magic wand. I can't protect them from everyone, and it's not my job to protect them from everything, because this is their journey. But what I have found is it's a lot calmer for that. It really is. It's a lot more loving in my house. So yeah, thanks, Tya.
I was thinking that when I was saying how difficult it was with just a close family member. I don't have kids, so if you do have a child that's going through difficulty, going through their own challenges, that must be, to really be able to practice that. Gosh, that must be quite challenging, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so bad. I just have to remind myself that it's their experience,
Mm.
and I still worry, but I just kind of, living in that fear is not going to help them in any situation. So if I'm going to worry about it, I'm just going to impact that whole situation. So we just try and positively go around things. But it's quite funny because, like, my kids used to go, "Are you all right, mummy?" And I used to go like, "Yeah, living the dream." And I used to be like sarcastic. And now they say, "Are you okay, mum?" I'm going, "Yeah, I'm living the dream." And they're like, "Are you being sarcastic?" I'm like, "No, genuinely, I am. I'm actually living the dream now. I actually mean it."
We could be authentic now on that, can't we? I think before I had a
Absolutely.
facade up, and I used to always go, I'm great, I'm great. Well, I really wasn't. It was just a facade. But going back to the kids thing, I always think about the story for my son because it is difficult sometimes when they're going through their contrast and you want to intervene, you want to help, you want to save, and you have to stand back. And I always remember the story, and it's from a guru that is actually quite famous, but I won't mention his name here because it's a Tya show, but the story still resonates. So this guru told a story about his son, how his wife and him were worried about his son who was not doing very well in school. And they worried about, his future, if you buy into the fact that school gives you a future, right? So they were worried about the future. And what he was into was comic books, and he was obsessed. So it wasn't even video games at this time, it was just comic books. And so they were worried he spent more time with these comic books than he did at school, and his grades suffered. But they decided to let him just be who he was, thinking maybe this will lead to something. And he ended up being a CEO of a comic book company. So you never
Wow.
know where it's going to take them. Had they intervened maybe and put some pressure on him, stop the comic books, maybe punishment by removing these comic books from him, maybe he wouldn't have been a CEO of a comic book company. So that story always stops me thinking, yes, you got to let your children live their contrast. And of course, we are there to help. I mean, we're not going to leave them hanging, high and dry if something serious happens. But I think people get what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
This is great.
Connect
That's
to it.
a great
I
story.
I
Yeah.
love
But
it.
also, look at all of us. We're what, 1 or 2 years above 21. So we finished our education just a couple of years. But we've all changed our lives in the last couple of years. So education isn't the be all and end all. Yes, obviously you need an education, but there's more to life than that. And it's pursuing your passions. And for me, my quality of life is from my friendships and my family and the love that's in my life. It's not about the monetary things. And like Kerry said, if I'm not feeling it 100%, I just know having a conversation with anybody in the Tya community will just massively lift my spirits. And I'm literally, sometimes because of the time difference, I'm chatting to somebody at like 11:30 at night, and then I can't sleep because I'm buzzing and so excited. But half an hour beforehand, that may have been different. But it's just lovely to have that relationship with people who you've never met, which is quite bizarre. That can do that to you.
Right. Isn't
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
The beauty too is even if it's 3 in the morning when you need someone, we're all over the world. So there's always a Tya person, right? One of our Tya team, our Tya buddies. There's always someone around the world who's up at the time you're having your little bit of a, crisis, or you need a friend to listen to something. So it's an amazing community because we're all over the place. And that in itself is incredible, thinking that we have all these friends around the world and we all are the same and we're all in this practice together and supporting each other. It's such a
Mm,
beautiful, loving community. And I'm just always so grateful to be here.
yeah.
me too? I was kind of the other day. I think when we hit 4,000, maybe a week or two ago, I lose track of my days, but I just sat a moment and it was like, wow, we technically, I mean, on Facebook land, know 4,000 people. Who can say that? Like around the globe, and how amazing that the Tya Practice Facebook group brought 4,000 people in. That just is absolutely amazing to me. And I just sat in such appreciation and gratitude. As you said, Deborah, we may not know them. They may be in the background. Maybe they don't comment, but a lot of times I think they're in there watching, reading, learning. And how beautiful is that we can get on Facebook and reach out to 1 in 4,000.
Oh, I think Kerry's
Do we
frozen.
have freezing?
Yeah, I think we've lost Kerry, but I think touching on what she was saying is that there's 4,000 people in that group and not everybody's been through boot camp, but it doesn't matter, does it? It really doesn't matter, because
No, that's really
you are
important.
rooting for everybody. And I know I was the queen of comparison before I did Tya. I used to get jealous and I used to compare myself to other people's success. But now I'm just literally rooting for people. And I don't care if I know you or not. I don't care if you've gone through boot camp or not. I am rooting for you. And you ask a question on the group and everybody's there. And that's just sensational.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that, because I know that there was a time a couple of months ago when there was some discussion around that somebody said they felt like a sort of a two-tier society. And I think we really addressed that at the time, because it is not just lip service here of that anyone that's aligned with it is very much part of the community. And I love that you mentioned that. And I think also the reason why the connections are so strong is because although there are no rules, the only rule is just to be completely authentic. And that's why from the very get-go. And also I was the most skeptical person in every respect, wasn't I?
I don't think you were alone with that. I think I was quite skeptical as well, and I've been like reflecting a lot this year. And I've gone from being very skeptical to tired to just loving it. Yeah, you had a bit of a journey, didn't you, Deborah?
Oh yes, indeed. And that I can remember the somebody saying at the very, very first meeting, nobody will be judging, and like the British part of my brain went, will they not? We shall see. Like it was judging them for saying them about that. But the vibrational part of me, like that completely shut up that voice, because I knew that from the start. This isn't just lip service, this is real. So that's going to be the same for every single one of the 4,000. Nobody is ever being judged. And I think to really feel that and really know that we really, really mean it, I'd love to get that over. And that when we say, because I'll often say, I love that you're here, I really appreciate you, to people that I really mean that. And I think that vibrationally that is getting to talking of appreciating people. We've got oh, how lovely. We've got Facebook user. I don't think maybe you can see, Kerry, who that is, but yeah, Kerry, that's what this wonderful community offers. Diana, lovely to see you here, and Luke and Erica and Bridget, wonderful. Oh, and Stacey. Oh, and Erica, how lovely.
Yeah, and Erica brought up something. She was saying that she's dealing with that with her mom, the difficult journey, and realizing that she needs to let her mom have her own experience. And I think when you were talking about it, Deborah, when it's our family member or somebody so close to us, sometimes it is harder to step back and allow them to have their journey, because we love them so much and we want for them to have such a lovely experience. But I love that you brought that to light, Anne-Marie, of just asking, what is it you need? When you see somebody struggling, what is it you need from me? Do you want me to just sit here and listen? Do you need me to hold your hand? You know, are you asking for my opinion or not? You just need a kind person to kind of blow off that steam or vent to. It's such a simple question, but it's so powerful. Because I was just going to say, we think we know what they need, but we don't.
Yeah, and it allows them to think about what they need. So, you know, when we're all engulfed in something and if we take ourselves out of it, we know the answer. So it's actually giving them a really good tool of their own to sort of think about what they want and go, actually, yeah, I just need this. Actually, I could just go off and do this on my own. So yeah, it's quite lovely to see. And they're just turning into gorgeous girls. I'm just so proud.
Yeah. Well, I love, because my daughter came to visit me not too long ago. We're unable to get together for the actual holiday, so we created our own. And I laughed because something had gone on in her life, and I didn't ask, but I just was sitting next to her, and she just turned to me and she said, "I just need to be mad for a while. I'm going to take a walk." And I thought, okay, that answer, I didn't ask, but I'm glad that she was able to verbalize to me that sometimes we do want to just be mad for a bit. We're human, right? And so, sometimes our friends just need that to get it out.
Yeah.
I know I was, Sandra talked about that. I was always the one, I'm fine. Everything's great. I didn't even know how to get it out until I learned boot camp. I mean, the happy feelings, yes, but the other feelings, the anger or sadness or frustration, I didn't know how to verbalize that. So I just said, I'm fine. And I'm sure people were like, no, you're not. I'm just going to move over here. But it's just, what a simple question. I love that sense.
Yeah. And I love that after you, Henry. Go.
No, I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh, no, I was just going to say that sort of like, it's leveled me out knowing and understanding more about what I want and how I feel. So like you're saying, like before you just used to go, I'm fine. Well, I was either like super happy and excited and bouncing around like a tigger, or I was miserable and grumpy. And sometimes you got the in between. Whereas now it's way more consistent because I'm exploring with myself. I'm asking myself these questions as well. I'm journaling, and so it's just those gifts of, isn't it, those tools of just trying to work yourself out. And at 20, should we say 3 years old plus,
Oh, I love
I'm
it.
beginning to understand and appreciate myself, and I feel my confidence is growing, and it's just immense.
Yes, which can only come from when you really are your authentic self. That is the only place that is ever going to come from. Yeah. And I do love also the web, because I think quite a few of us here were followers of Abraham prior to finding Tya, and that was one of the many huge game changers. That because when you follow the Abraham teachings, you're not meant to even reference anything that you don't want to manifest. So I didn't know what to do with those feelings when they came up, and I also got so freaked out when they did come around, and it just sort of made it a lot worse, because I'm not meant to be focusing on this, but what do I do then with these? And then it's so easy to go to the spiritual bypassing and just see, as David, it's love and light, and you've got all this turmoil, and then finding that about the vibrational flow and embracing that, and was just like, oh, thank God. Like, oh God. So I'm actually allowed to embrace those human feelings, but then obviously understanding how it is, we're all just a product of vibration of flow. Oh God, the relief in that for me was just huge. So big.
The relief, and one of the reliefs for me was, and now I look back and I think, we talk about being selfish versus self-love, and looking back at honestly how selfish I was to think that I was the only one feeling that way, the only one shoving my feelings down and acting like I was fine. So not even seeing when other people around me weren't fine, but said they were fine. And so figuring that all out and realizing that every human being on this earth feels that way at one time or another, and has, as we call, triggers and transgressors. We all do. That's why we came here. And so knowing that we're in a safe space to share that openly, it was so beautiful to me, because I never experienced that anywhere else. And I was seeking that. Of course, my family and everybody, I know they love me regardless if I spin out and melt down and go crazy. They love me. So, but feeling the genuine love when I shared the hot mess I was inside, and nobody judged me, and they just gave me tools to not hear, I'm going to fix you. They gave me tools to say, you can fix yourself. You can do this. You can do this yourself. And in doing that yourself, I discovered the self-love, which then allows me to love others in such a beautiful, genuine way. And like you said, Anne Marie, I just, we all do. We're sitting here in appreciation for every single person that has come into our boot camp, but also into our Facebook group. And for me, and I think you all feel the same, the excitement of others that will show up as we vibrate to that different vibration that I feel the earth so needs. This loving, caring, non-judgmental. Don't be afraid. We're all here. And as Deborah always says so beautifully, walking each other home.
Yeah. And it's true. And do you find that when somebody joins boot camp, you don't know them, but you're so excited for them because you just know in about 3 months their life's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, if Anne-Marie a year ago was looking at some of these comments that we have about the other graduates, I would be so cynical and be going, what are these people on? But honestly, it's so true. I was literally just like, why are these people so happy? And I couldn't get it. And now, obviously, with the learnings that, the stream and David both teach, it becomes obtainable. So I've just seen Luke's comment about what fine means. And I've heard that before and I couldn't remember the end of it. I'm not going to read it out. But it's so true.
I've not seen that before.
Yeah, everyone's gonna go look at Luke's comment now.
It's so true. I'm fine.
Yeah, and going back to the community and people starting boot camp, I get really excited and almost giddy in a good way, though, of that they're going to change, and I'd like to see the changes that happen slowly, like they chip away at what's going on in their life, and they start to blossom out. And watching the transformation is just incredible. It's so exciting. And every time someone starts, I always think it's like I have a little secret. Like, I know you're going to change. It's going to be beautiful at the end. But they don't quite, they trust it, which is why they joined, right? They're in the right place at the right time for them. But I don't think they realize the transformation that they're about to embark in just 12 weeks' time.
Yeah.
And it's incredible because you don't think, like, I came in thinking I would fail. There's no way I can, go from the grumpy self to the really happy self in 12 weeks. And yes, I did take a little longer, but it's amazing the transformation and how confident you get and how that there's always support and you don't have to hammer anymore and you feel comfortable when you're on a downward spiral. And you never thought that you could ever have that freedom without it. So it's a beautiful journey watching. It's a beautiful when you get to the end, and then you get to be part of this gorgeous community that just everyone is so supportive and so kind-hearted, and you make beautiful friends.
You really do.
Go ahead.
No, something I was just going to say is something that I've noticed as well is that I will now ask for that help, whereas before I wouldn't. So I'm in the coaching group because I'm hopefully going to be a Tya coach soon, and I was having my spin out, and so I just reached out and went, does anybody want to practice coaching on me? That for me was massive, but I allowed myself to do that. And then all these amazing, honestly, it's like free counselling. It's fantastic. And all these people came out with like all the Tya tools of what you do and what works for them and all this experience. And, so if you are struggling with something and you're on the Tya practice page and you're not in boot camp, that's fine. Ask a question. And I just feel like everybody will just hug around you and help you in any way they can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I was going to say exactly that, that no matter what's going on, and as we move through this practice, there's always somebody that you can reach out to and say, help. And I too was one that I could do it all. I'll figure it out. And now I realize asking for help is such a simple thing. And even sometimes not just talking like we are now, and processing out loud works well for me. So talking it through and someone to just listen, the answers usually show up, which is beautiful. And the other thing that still absolutely blows me away is when I see a boot camper come in, and even day one, sometimes day two, where they start connecting and having those aha moments, you can see their inner light just light up. And it's so magical. I have no words for it yet, but that never ceases to just wow me, to see somebody come in and all of this, and then it's like they start connecting the dots. And I always told David, when, during boot camp, that I always felt like there was a piece of a puzzle missing, because I love jigsaw puzzles and puzzles. And I always felt like I got the puzzle all together, but there was this little piece missing. And now I know what that was. For me, it was the tools and the community and this lovely interaction of so many wonderful people that have showed up, that are vibrating and want to this vibration of, I want to do better. I want to be better. I want to figure it out. And, we may never have it all figured out, which is
We're finding that.
this fact that we get to enjoy this all together and have more fun and create. And gosh, I still am in awe of getting onto a meeting, and we're from around the world. And yet we can sit here and have this lovely conversation, and it's just absolutely magnificent.
And I love how we are allowed to be so deeply human. That's the whole point of us being here, to be imperfect. And that in and of itself was so freeing, that nobody is asking for perfection. And really, truly understanding that, because I think we hear so many times that vulnerability is your strength. Like before, it was like, you're right. And like my strength pre-time was basically what I now completely see was my imposter syndrome of, I am fine. So that's really funny what Luke said. I'm fine and I'm strong and I can push on through and I can take care of everyone at the same time and do it in 3 countries at the same time. Yeah. And like when I heard that about vulnerability being a strength, it was just like the furthest thing from wherever I was going. And then actually really understanding that and just really grasping that and see that the huge freedom and growth in being your authentic self and actually coming back to your self-worth, and then realizing that self-worth is as we've alluded to several times already, that light that's just within us all. I love that image of us all just being these little lighthouses shining, and at different times of day. Oh, I'm liking this, because like at different times of day, the lighthouses will be shining in a different part of the world, won't they? So the waters will always be illuminated somewhere. Those lighthouses will always be on. There we go. There's one.
Oh, I love that. That was brilliant, Deborah. So beautiful. Yes. And lighthouses are just cool. I think everybody thinks lighthouses are cool. So, yeah. So be the lighthouse. And, we're all in different time zones. So,
yeah, I'd never thought that we had like 24-hour support, but we do, because you've got like Leslie over in Australia, and you've got us in the UK, and you guys in the States, and there's Canada, and it's just here, there, and everywhere. So yeah, it's a 24-hour support group. How wonderful. Mm-hmm. But one thing I also know is that when you graduate out of Tya, you're not completely fixed.
Of course.
You still got things you need to work through. You're still going to have your bad days or perceived bad days, but you've just got the stuff to manage it now, and those bad days become so less than they were before. So if you're watching and you're thinking like you're going to be fixed after boot camp, you're going to be such a nicer, better version of yourself and you'll have the stuff to fix yourself going forward. But this, like David says, the ceiling is so high. Well, there is no ceiling. It's just, you just keep growing and growing. And I don't know if it's the end of the year and I'm just getting all reflective, but I've been reflecting on Tya, and I think since I've graduated, I've just learned so much, and I get it. I truly, truly get it. Whereas I struggled in boot camp, but yeah, I'm so there now.
Yeah. We're not meant to be completely fixed, of course we're not. We're human. If we
No.
were, that would be it. That would be really bad news. There would be no more expansion.
Yeah. Well, I love what I think Sandra brought that to the attention is, you know, we're told that we're broken and we're, you know, society, and we need to fix them. And, you know, if you're out of the norm, you're, you know, you're not conforming, you're kooky, or you need fixing. And I love that Sandra brought that. We're not broken. We're human. And that's why we're here, for this human experience. And for me, just realizing that it's all an experience regardless. And if I can view it as such, because I have tools now to view it, then that's where I can expand and grow and change. And it's completely out of boot camp that you do most of that. Boot camp just is teaching you the tools and helping you navigate. And I'm loving this because what Deborah just said, it's like I came into boot camp and I had no lighthouse. I didn't know what path to choose. I had no idea of even where to take that first step. And then boot camp guided me and taught me the steps and the tools to now create whatever I choose to create, whatever path I decide to go on. So as you said, there's all these lighthouses and I get to choose. I get to say, well, I'm going to go see what this one's about today. And maybe tomorrow I'll go this way. And I love it. And Stacy was on, she's also our head Thai coach, but I love, she always brings her curiosity. And I'm learning from her to be more curious, ask more questions, look at it from the curiosity point of, well, what if? You know, what if I go to a holiday party and just sit back and enjoy and appreciate? And even if it's crazy, like my family parties are absolutely bonkers. There's so many of them. We're all talking over each other. We're all crazy, just excited, and everybody's talking at once. And my kids used to be like, "Mom, how do you even like know what's going on?" The energy is so intense, and we just, that's how we are. We're just that way, and everybody's talking at once, and it's crazy, and it's fast paced. And I'm learning to just sit back and really appreciate that, instead of at times feeling like I was talked over and maybe hurt my feelings, or, you know, someone didn't see my point of view. And as much as we love each other, we still hurt each other's feelings. And so going in with the mindset of, I'm just going to see what this party brings. Enjoying the hustle and bustle and everybody's in one room, or, you know, there's so much going on over the holidays. And so just that little switch of, how can I be that lighthouse? How can I ask people, what do they need? These are just great tools we have all brought today. I love it. I love this discussion.
And that reminds me, Deborah, because didn't you say after you graduated, you just used to, you know, sort of go out for dinner or go to your local and just sit back and watch? And people were observing you doing that. Like, what's going on with Deborah?
Yes, that was when I knew it was really working, because the English pub is the most cynical place that exists on the planet. And that was when I knew it was really taking effect, when, in fact, I'm popping down there for a Christmas stew right now after this. It used to, because when I first came back to England, having lived in Spain for so many years, I found it utterly terrifying going to the pub, because it is the most judgmental place in the world that you'll ever. Everybody is just, and nobody is real. And it's being a bit down on the English, but it's like the epicenter of what's the word, passive aggression, and nobody's and everybody's terrified of being the one that's, they even have an expression for it, which filled me with horror. Being in the chair, you're the one that's going to be mercilessly having the, how do you say it, the pee taken out of you, and it is merciless. And I used to find it absolutely horrific. It was like I had to really armour up to go there, but because it really upset me seeing everybody so upset and seeing everybody in such pain. Not to have some Mother Teresa, but it really did, and it was that judging their experience and knowing that they were going to be judging that out of me too. That was horrible too, of course. But like you said, that first time when I was just sitting there in my own happy little world, happy little lighthouse, and just, oh God, because the relief of just going there and just observing them and seeing it all, and laughing at things that I found so horrendous before. And then two of the most cynical, most uptight people in the place actually commented to each other, you notice how she's just always really happy and nothing phases her, and she's just sitting there shining her, and I think one of them actually said shining her light or something. I go, oh my God, I was actually reaching the Hatchet pub in England, and it's so aptly named the Hatchet, then I know that I'm onto something.
Well, there's a reason why all our soap operas are based around a pub, isn't there? It's because that's where all the drama is. But don't be scared. If you come into the UK, don't be scared. It's fine. We're not all like that.
I want to go. I am dying to go. I want to sit and observe as well. I think it would be fascinating. So when we see London, I expect you to take me to some great pubs.
Oh, you bet. That is going to be so much fun. Oh my goodness. You can hardly wait.
I'm so excited. And we're getting a lot of comments on your lighthouse analogy, Deborah. So that was beautiful that you brought that. Joe Zamora, we love you, Joe. I love the lighthouse, the light of my life. And Bob said,
Bob, how lucky to see you. And Joe.
He said, I love the lighthouse analogy. And I do too. I think that really captures the vibration that we are, but trying to find words for. Struggle with that sometimes because it's, of course, I've never vibrated in this amazing, where I wake up excited every day, and I'm just in pure joy, and I can't wait to see what transpires today. And the lighthouse, I think that sums that up beautifully. So what a great conversation with you ladies today. It always makes my heart so happy. I'll be bebopping around all day, just happy as can be, because I got to sit here and chat with y'all. And then our Facebook group joined us. How beautiful.
Yes.
Bebopping with your new rephrasing of best possible outcome. Best outcome possible, the bop.
The bop. I love the bop. It's my favorite.
You are the queen of the best possible outcome. Sorry, best outcome possible.
Yes, I know. I got to keep switching it because I like the analogy of bop that we talked about last week, of bopping it. Sandra, maybe, I don't know, in Canada, it was a toy when my kids were little. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
Yes, the bop it. And we got it for Christmas.
Yeah. They use it as a meme right now too. So it's kind of made a resurgence with the younger crowds because it's turned into a meme. And it's kind of mean to dogs because they're bopping their dog and doing stuff to their dog over this bop it noise. But yeah, I remember that. I remember the toy.
Yeah. And I just remember us playing, as always, and probably anyone can relate, during the holidays, you get together and there's gift giving. And of course, the children just find the magic in Christmas. And I swear it doesn't matter what they're unwrapping. They're so excited. But what was always funny to me was at our family Christmases, after the kids would unwrap everything, they'd go play. And us adults would find these, like a bop it, and we would start playing the kids' games. And it would just it was always just so many of my fond memories of us just being silly and actually, as adults, letting go of that judgment of each other and just being silly and playing these children games and having so much fun. And I think that is part of the magic of the holiday season is looking forward to being with the people you love and the people you care about most, and just enjoying that time where the world kind of shuts down and people don't have to go to work, and even though a lot of us are working from home now, you still have to get up and show up. So to have that downtime of just enjoying each other. Um, and I plan to, I'm in Belize this year, so on an island, and I plan to go and experience their culture and how they celebrate the holiday season. I'm very, very excited about that. So I will report back after the holidays.
Yes.
Which,
We want to,
yes,
yeah, we will want to hear, for sure.
I know.
Yeah.
I
So
loved
interesting.
it. It is so interesting, and I love different traditions and cultures and things, and so I'm allowing my bop it to show and see what outcome possible happens. Which leads me to a couple things. We will not be live in Facebook next week, and David will. We have our Claim Your Power tonight, and it's going to be broadcast via Zoom, so anyone can join us. And we invite all of you to come on. You don't have to stay on, but you can come on and say hi and celebrate with us. And it's always fun. Of course, David always has some kind of fun thing to do and good information. So we're doing that tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific. And then next week there will be no lives. And then we'll come back 2022 after the new year, and we'll resume our shows. And David's been creating and inspired, and so we've done a lot of talking about what next year will look like. And of course, we have our live Ascension in LA, January 15th. So we're hoping people can join us there. And if not, we have 3 more planned after that. So the schedule is up now. It's on thestreamofdavid.com, on David's website. And we couldn't be more excited to actually physically be in a room with all of us who can join us. So I'm so looking forward to that. And see what 2022 brings for each of us. It will
So
be
exciting.
so exciting.
People off from coming to London. Everybody's lovely here.
Yes.
We won't take you to the hatchet. You're safe.
I trust you guys to take me to the best places.
Somebody, I have no clue about London. I don't know it at all. Anne-Marie, but we'll have
I know a
fun
few
on Monday.
places. We'll be okay.
I've told David that we've got to do a karaoke that we're doing. I think it's Hotel California. But I told him he has to perform with me, so we're definitely doing a karaoke.
I love it. I'm sure whatever we do, it will be fabulous, just because we get to do it together and actually meet in person, and we really do have bodies and legs and arms. And
I know that so well. It was when David posted that picture of him with a dog, and Holly was the first to say, I thought, oh my God, he's got legs.
I know we have to. We'll actually see the whole physical body. But yeah, and the best part of that, I think, because even though vibration and frequency, we can feel it. I can always feel it, even when it's online, and even when I'm not connected to the phone or Zoom or whatever. You still feel it. It's out there. It ripples, and we're connected. But to physically be in the presence, and I'm a big hugger, so I love hugs. You're going to get a big Texas-sized hug from me whether you like it or not.
Love it, not like it. We love it. Can't wait. Give me those
I
hugs.
welcome. I welcome.
There's Kathy. Hi, Kathy. Lovely to see you. Merry Christmas to you
Hi,
too.
Kathy.
Yes. So last, let's go around. Last little tidbit for the holidays, and thank you again for everyone joining us. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
I think for myself, it's just enjoy everything that's about to happen. Just enjoy the experience and see it a bit different. See that through the wonder of a child's eyes, right? Because you'll see it's everything is okay the way it is. Like everything's perfect for you, and there's a beauty to it all. So enjoy it.
That was lovely, Sandra. Thank you.
Yeah. I do think it might be worth acknowledging that this is a bit of there could be people who aren't in the place where they would maybe choose to be, their preference with restrictions and things that are around at the moment, and so it really is, as much as you possibly can, is to just stay out of the judgment of that and knowing that the experience is the perfect one, and to really, with everybody, to feel that, look for the appreciation for it, for the experience that you're having, not judge it, really, really do that to your best of your ability, I'd say, and just, I love that, trying to plug into that childlike awe and wonder, yes.
And mine just echoes what Deborah said. Mine would be just, if you're feeling stressed or you're feeling like things are just, you're hitting capacity, just take five seconds or whatever, find some appreciation in something, because even in the worst day, I can find joy in my day if I look back and think about something that I appreciate. So if you're feeling like that, appreciate it. And if you're having the best time, appreciate it, suck it in. Just have a wonderful Christmas, and we'll see you in the new year.
Thank you. And I'll see you tonight.
And me and I would say happy holidays, everyone. Much love and appreciation.
Bye.
Bye.